Jenna, what up, YouTube? So this is the continuation of the series chakras, and before I continue on and add to like the third eye chakra, I wanted to clear the crown chakra first because the third eye has so much like you can say about it, but the crown chakra is kind of like short. So the crown chakra is associated with archangels powers and kind of like the powers like literal powers and the archangels. So and if like the third chakra is like a library, whilst the crown chakra has all to do with authority, like authority and like power and like who does what, like who is in charge of what, like the heads, it can be heads of like companies, all that, like that's all associated with like the crown chakra, powers, literal like powers. So and of course these powers are regulated by the star Regulus in the constellation of Leo, and of course, the archangels are like the overseers of these like powers, like that are associated with the crown chakra. Even you, if you awaken like your third eye chakra, and then you get like very like chakra strong, you will become aware of the powers and the archangels and what like they want for humanity. So basically what they want is for you to be serving, like not just be this being who says, okay, now I have my spiritual reality, I have my sensuality, and I can like just go and do whatever I want. I don't care about anybody else. But the archangels are concerned with like serving humanity, and actually like using heads. So if you have a skill for something, an angel might actually come and like maybe meet you in your sleep, guide you towards like the job you intended to do, or the mission you have like on your like soul task. And as you like progresses, you even like it's pretty fun, and it's something you also want to do because these are like when an archangel like shows up to you, it's something that you like highly resonates with. So it can be like perhaps take the charge of something, like I don't know, like perhaps make an uprising, perhaps like call some shots. But anything that has to do with like enterprising, like the archangels are responsible for enterprising, like being the head of something, being the head of this that, and like so it's the crown chakra, and it has like lots of power. And like yeah, and then like since we can like and it is even associated with Buddhahood, and Buddhahood is just like when you like or like in the crown chakra level, you become a living library because you just have the knowledge, like you just are like at another like level, like you pick up stuff fast, you pick up stuff fast, like you're ahead, ahead, a strong head that can actually guide in time of needs, and see through that people do what they're supposed to do. Because you have the knowledge. So that's what the crown chakra is associated with, with like leadership abilities, leadership. So leadership and service, because leadership is not just being the leader, being the one everyone gets to see and the one who gets to like say, huh, do this, huh, do this. No, it's all about serving. It's all about serving, and it brings great joy, and the archangels can like see through that you do that. And of course in Buddhism this is associated with like the final like perfect Buddha, like the Bodhidharma, the Bodhidharma. There are different stages of Buddhahood one can reach, but this is like the final like perfect Buddha, because you can be a Buddha but not a perfect Buddha. But if you are like centered in the crown chakra, you become a perfect Buddha, meaning one who has the knowledge and who can actually teach others, because there are Buddhas who have the knowledge but who cannot teach you anything because it's just not in their power. So um once like and then like so the Bodhidharma is highly like associated with the crown chakra. Bodhidharma, heads of different stuff, different stuff, like and of course authority, and like teams are associated also like with the crown chakra is the inherent like need or want to just expand in the spiritual like world, just expand, go deep in in the spiritual world, and be this like spiritual like hermit. But because of the archangels, like when you've done your hermit work, they will not allow you to be in the shadows. No, they would want you to like come into the light so that you can contribute in the creation of this what we call life. So because if you have knowledge and skill and you've dedicated like years to like perfect like chakras and all that, you're pretty much a teacher. You're pretty much like in handy to people and the different needs that humanity has. So it's very good. And then like it's rich, the whole experience with chakras. You get the different like spiritual rewards, spiritual stages. And of course the crown chakra is also like associated with like hard work. Like all effort is worth it, because all effort is rewarded. Now you can be rewarded with like money when you work, but in like the chakra system, when you work good, you're rewarded with like high vibrancy with so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then it has like the crown chakra is very has very much to do also with like the generation. Like when a person like is very centered in the crown chakra, they become like this ahead of a generation, so they have so much to pass on to the next generation, because they're like the head of their generation. So now they're giving off like knowledge. Like it's just like that. The passing on of knowledge is also associated with the crown chakra, or passing on of like inheritance, like that which you've used, that which have worked. Now it's time to pass it on so that the next can also like so that's also associated with the crown chakra. And then of course like in the physical reality, it can be manifested as like leadership, powers, even as anarchy, rebelling against like the existent like powers. And then like the truth is also a big theme with like all the higher chakras, starting from like the fifth to the sixth to the seventh. They all have an aspect that is very very much geared towards the truth. So the truth, like, is this true leadership? Is this authentic leadership? Is this the head we want to see? Is very much associated like with the crown chakra. And then like And once a person like hits like crown chakra levels, this is now like the peaks of humanity, like through the whole chakra system. It's just like a like super ride. It's a super ride. Now it's a holocaust, like a super ride. When you like at the crown chakra level, you just like like nothing beats the internal experiences. Like this outer reality is just a fraction of what the inner reality is. So that's why the inherent need is also there to just expand spiritually and not be so much like with like the mundane. Like most actually like try to go hermit mode and just like eclipse themselves from like the earth. But they're not allowed to do that because like you become like one, because what happened like in the fifth chakra is the burning of karma. The burning of karma can like liberates you so that you can be this head who can just tackle problems and serve, and you get like the messages from the angels. It's not just for you to keep like, oh, good, this angel talked to me, now it's good. No, the angels want you to spread the message, to let it be out there so that it can uplift and like be in line with the plan that is next for like humanity. So in a way you become like one of those who prepare the way for the next to come, almost like John the Baptism in Christ's story. Like he prepared the way for Jesus when Jesus came, and Jesus could do the work. So that's kind of like the crown chakra, all those, and that's what heads do. They prepare the work for the next generation, because they already like content like with themselves, they're satisfied. So this is more service, very service oriented. And you can have people like hermits who completely like retreat in the jungle. But again, it's kind of like when you stabilize it, the angels will take you out of your jungle and back into society. Because that's where you need to be, because there are lots of spiritual practices where males actually go into jungles, they completely like cut off like. But once you resonating like high there, once you've gotten the hang of it, the angels will take you out of your jungle and into society, because that's where you need to be. And then like mythical like mythical like creatures associated with the crown chakra is dragons. Why dragons? Like dragons are like the manifestation of that which is the continuation of the crown chakra. These beings who are enlightened and who just keep expanding. They become like dragons. In ancient days, like ancient China, they were known as dragons too, because they just like but there is like an association with dragons. And when you actually reach to the crown chakra level, you understand why the dragons, like it's kind of like is like in the practice, because it's a lot of like fire one works with. So it is spiritual fire, and dragons are associated with fire, wind, like flights, flying above, and not being like on the ground, transcending the normal, and being like powerful, like majestic. So that's like all. And the crown chakra is even associated like with dynasties and like royalty, and the passing on of like from one generation to the next, and all that. So royalty is very much also associated with the crown chakra, and it is under like the supervision of the archangels, because it is geared towards service always. So um and then like and now like to, to anyone like who like takes on the spiritual journey and who takes it seriously, you have to know that you become a teacher, like, eventually. Like, it's just like that. Like, teaching is part of spirituality. Like, one, when you have knowledge, like, what the spirit demands of us is to actually distribute knowledge so that everyone can have knowledge and apply the skills. Like, it's kind of unfair if like someone never got to do something just because they didn't have the knowledge. It's bad. so so the spreading of knowledge, writings, like in libraries, all that, like, associated with the sixth and kind of like crown. But the crown has more to do with like authority, like, and and that, and and like what can hinder you in your spiritual journey, since we're now like talking about the crown chakra, which is considered in most like chakra system the final chakra. So we should talk about what can hinder you in your spiritual journey, and that is kind of like resistance to spiritual lessons. Like, if you you can like did you can like have stumbled on your spiritual path, and when the lessons come, don't be so resistant. Like, just do your meditation. And I know it can be painful, it can be hard, but just take it on, and don't be like, no, no, and be this like anti spirit person, because it can be kind of hard. Like, the lessons are not that easy, but it is necessary to integrate all the like lessons associated with one's like the spiritual development, so that one can fully mature and fully like evolve, like, the divine masculine and the divine feminine in oneself, and like keep this going. So the integration of spiritual lessons is very important. That's why it's good to actually do your prayers, the la, because that will keep you like open to spiritual lesson, and will make it easier for you, because sometimes it can be like heavy for the heart, heavy for the heart to actually take in something that it has previously not like been correct on. And it just takes some humility, but sometimes also forgiveness, because sometimes you just don't have the way yet, and it shows up, and you kind of like disgusted, like, yeah, like, why didn't I have it before? And now I know what to do, but I don't care anymore. Like, so it's always this like open-mindedness to like integrate the lessons, and then like always like keep the chakras neat and properly, like, set. It's just like cleaning. So always take your showers, do the thing, and keep the chakras rising high, and keep the balance good and all that. So that's a good thing. And then like also another thing that can hinder you is attitudes towards sex. Like, as a spiritual practitioner, sex is a formidable tool. Like, sex is love, sex is God's source. Sex is the connection to the divine. So you should be open to sex at all the stages of your spirituality. But even if when because some stages demands that you actually like, you know, uh abstain from sex and such activities. But even when abstaining from sex, one should always have a positive image, like, uh, geared like towards sex, a positive image of sex, because it is so important and so vital to the development of all the chakras. Positive sexuality, like positive image of sex and acceptance of sex, of having sex and doing so, it is important. But then you can take on the different sexual practices, but that's another thing. But openness towards sex is important. You don't have to have sex with someone, but just having this openness towards sex, because your attitude towards sex is going to like you know, color your sexual experiences, and color your spirituality, kind of like ish. So it is important to have good 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 takes on sex. And of course hard work is always rewarded. Like that's the lesson to like keep. That's the lesson of the crown chakra. Hard work is always rewarded. Like, so that's what you have there. Like when you work hard, you do your best, like you're authentic, you do your best, and you do it for service, it's always rewarded. Like it's always rewarded, because I know you can run into some things like oppositions, like people hating you here and there. And that's a big thing with like the crown chakra, since it is associated with like authority, and people are not so like willing to accept authority. Like they resist authority. So so it is actually one to like take into mind that hard work is always rewarded. And like just do your best, and always serve. And of course even this you should have in mind, put humanity before God. That can also like hinder your views towards like God or the God source. Like having humanity before God opens up so many things. It opens you up for learning, because some of us stop seeking knowledge just because we've like tapped into some faith that is not allowing us to progress on to the next level, to take in the knowledge we actually need to like progress, to go out there and seek the knowledge. No, because of the proud, because of like pride, and like the this is the right way, kind of like ish. Because there ain't like no right way. There is like the way you do, but there ain't like no right like this. Like when it's a matter of like God, because we are God, and the God force is within us, and God is what we worship, and God is our love. God is the projection of all that which we are. Our love, like the whole of it, is God. So I am God, you are God, and you have it all inside of you. But I'm just waking this up, and it's just the same thing. And of course, I hope you like this. um and I advise you to like add on more content, because it's fun, like doing this spreading of knowledge. Like if you have something, something you find out through your practice, I don't know, calisthenics, bodybuilding, share on with others. Like let others in, so that we can keep growing stronger together, and keep this like alive, and add on to like. And then like if you have a powerful crown chakra, you can also become like an archangel, like a literal archangel, you yourself too. Like meaning you leave a soul imprint into like the collective memories, like the collective memory, like a soul imprint into like the womb of like the, the the whole like spiritual, like the spiritual world. You leave your imprint in there, and you become like an archangel, meaning that people who actually are awakened will have you as guide, like teaching them. But this will happen more like you manifesting to them, like literally showing you manifesting to them, and showing them the way of how it's supposed to be. So you can literally become an archangel, and this is what like the dragons are, kind of like ish. Dragons, like these highly enlightened like beings who just like have reached enlightenment, and who are like continuing on, like expanding. So it's a good thing. And like when a person is very stable in the crown chakra, like we've seen many examples of like saints, people who completely like, they bash of like marital life and just become this like actor to serve and like live happily on their own, and continue on with like the divine and be one with God force or God source. So that's also another thing, but I think that's more of like a personal choice. But like your service is required, because it is the works of the angels, and this is the gift that you are like, all your knowledge and wisdom should be out there. So go out there, preach, and do what you have to do. So that's highly associated with the crown chakra, leading and spreading knowledge, and being ahead, and like positivity, and that'll be kind of like it. And then of course anarchy, rebellion, and like so teams, oppression, and all that. So you have to be like fair, and the archangels have all to do with justice, and justice is very strong, like very strong, with the crown chakra too. So that's kind of like it. uh, bye bye.